up guys, welcome to Supercars of London, welcome to Prince Motor Group. You may remember about 18 months ago I borrowed an all blacked out Lamborghini Aventador for my friend's wedding, and that came from this place. Well, they have got a new dealership here in Potter's Bar, and behind me an incredibly rare Novitec F12 N-Largo, and I've got the keys to it. I think what is left to do now is to just enjoy this beautiful weather. Over 700 brake horsepower. I don't know whether this has got the Novitec tune. If it does, it's 780 brake horsepower. It has got an aftermarket exhaust system. It's just come into stock, so let's just go for a drive. This. Ooh.
That sound is just iconic.
This, I can't believe I'm driving a Ferrari. And it's fast.
There's going to be a lot of double chins this video.
It is so ridiculous that when I saw this car launch, like Novitec are famous for their wide body kit N-Largos.
Oh, yeah.
They've done 488, they've done F12, they've recently done the 812, which Shmi documented. They've also done the 720S. They do Lamborghini Hurricane wide body kits as well. And this is like a bit of a dream come true to be able to drive a Novitec N-Largo. And this is, I think, I'm gonna say one of 3 in the UK. It was built by Artec. It has changed owners once, I believe.
Okay.
Now Prince Motor Group have it in stock and it is available for sale. An incredibly rare car. And I have to say, we're now on quite a bumpy bit of the road, but the drive over to here, my first impressions are, it's an incredibly comfy car.
You could still use it as you would use a normal F12, just like long distance cruising.
It's got massive ADV1 wheels on it.
Yeah.
It's been lowered, so it's on the Novitec springs. It's got an aftermarket exhaust system that I haven't been able to identify, which is rare, but it also hasn't come with a remote valve, so you can't just open the valves all of the time. So we're working off the Manatino, and I've worked out that in race mode, above 4,500 RPM is when the valves open. So now you can cruise around. You could daily this. I'm not joking. The steering is so light, it's very pinpoint, as Ferraris are. But from a suspension point of view, from a comfort point of view,
It's really good. Really, really good.
this is totally different to the car we last drove together, which was a 2014 Lamborghini Aventador.
Yeah.
This is Ferrari's attempt at a V12 Grand Tour, 6.2 litre V12, 710 horsepower from standard. I think this is still completely standard
In terms of the power.
engine power
Okay.
point of view. I can't feel any sort of additional responsiveness to the throttle, and it doesn't feel 800 brake horsepower.
No.
Sounds good though.
I'm actually excited to get out of the car just to hear it go past.
to say. Naturally aspirated V12 from Ferrari.
It's very special.
Sounds so good. Any thoughts?
Do you know what? The traction's been really good so far. I think it probably has something to do with how fat those rear tyres are.
Yeah.
335s, which are bigger than a 918s.
Really?
Yeah, I had a look.
you just checked out. You wanted to make sure that you were going to be safe in the passenger seat.
Yeah,
of this
exactly.
car.
I was like, do I trust the car? Do I trust Paul? Oh, it's got those tyres. They look big.
We've got beautiful weather and fat rear tyres. So yeah, the traction light hasn't flickered at all, which is a good thing, because the F12 is notoriously twitchy.
Oh yeah.
And the 812, they had calmed it down a little bit. They'd still made it fun and engaging to drive, but they'd made sure that it wasn't so twitchy, which I think was a really important factor to the car. But I'm learning about the car. I'm getting to grips with it. Novitec do a crazy amount to this car. They've completely reworked the body.
Oh yeah.
Like the whole thing has been completely reworked. New rear diffuser, new front splitter, completely widened, so you're getting new 3/4 fronts and rear 3/4 as well. It's got new side skirts. Everything is in pristine carbon as well. So yes, it is a very expensive modification to do, but it's not one that's like knocked up in the back of a van and slapped on.
No.
This is a proper conversion that took Artec Auto Design a good couple of weeks to get right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're warming it up.
Few little bubbles. Yeah.
Yes, my knowledge of Ferrari is still there, but obviously I'm very pro Lamborghini, and not that that should mean that I'm anti-Ferrari, but Ferrari bring it upon themselves by having the twin turbo V8 that sounds rubbish. I don't particularly get excited about the current product line with Ferrari. I preferred the era when it was 430 Scuderia into 458 Italia, the 599, 599 GTO into the F12. The 612 was long gone, so they were looking at the FF, and it was right when the LaFerrari was coming out as well.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a brilliant era of Ferrari. But now we've got the 488, which is a little bit dull. The Lusso V12 is cool, but the Lusso V8 is a bit dull.
Yeah.
The 812 is great, but I can't quite fall in love with it the same way I fall in love with the F12.
Okay.
I know that you're probably slightly different because the 812's newer.
Of course. That's my priorities.
Yeah. So, I do have passion for Ferrari. I do. Just not 2018, 2019 products. A little bit older, which is why... Oh, it's so wide. I'm just a little bit nervous about driving on this road.
Those gear shifts are... It's so cliche to say about Ferrari, but they really are quick, aren't they?
Yeah, it is, when you're going through the revs, it's like having like lasers firing out. It's like, boom, boom. Like that's how fast it is.
That's why, like on the downshifts, there's such a whip crack.
Yeah. We'll do a downshift. I'm really enjoying this. The F12 and the 430 Scuderia and probably the 458 Italia are the only Ferraris I would consider buying.
Okay.
For a number of reasons, because they're in a price bracket that would fit with how much I paid for the Murcielago.
And you can make them all sound ridiculous.
You can make them all sound ridiculous, and I love the Scud because it's limited. I love the Scud because of what it stands for. The 458 is just a much better version of a 430, and the F12 is obviously its V12.
Yeah.
So they're the only three cars that I'd buy. And when I got the message to say that Prince Motor Group had bought this, I was like, I have got to have a go in that. The steering and front end, bang on. Bang on. The suspension is compliant and really quite enjoyable, even on this road, which my Murcielago couldn't take.
No.
Just hands down. And the F12 has got very clever suspension. So with the Novitec springs, it makes it a little bit more flatter, it makes it have less body roll. And we're currently in race mode, which gives us a little bit of slip with traction, but opens the valves up to make it sound really good. Throttle response is just bang on. They're really built for the track. Even though this is the Grand Tourer, they still have so many characteristics of, I'd say, a 5-year-old Ferrari that I love so much. A lot of the characteristics got brought forward into the Ferraris of today, but just with a more less exciting engine.
Yeah.
So I think this is so cool. I think TGE should do this. I think he should trade in his F12 and get an N-Largo. Who doesn't? What's it like from the passenger seat as an experience? Because that's part of what a Ferrari should be and what a supercar definitely should be. Like, do you feel like we're in something cool? Do you feel like I'm in something ridiculous?
Yeah, of course. I mean,
here, see what happens. Yeah. Such a child.
I mean, of course, the noise alone lets you know you're in something very special.
Yeah.
And just what you're saying about the ride as well, like it really is a really compliant ride, but then when you take it through the corners,
we're in race mode as well.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
It's got a bumpy road mode, which...
Have you put that on?
It's actually a little bit like my Cupra. What?
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, I think the noise, the road position, I mean, I have no idea where we're on the road because it's so kind of wide, it's so wide and low. I can't
see the end of the bonnet.
No, I can't see the end of the bonnet.
And with the additional carbon air vents and additional shoulders that we've got around the front, I don't know where the front wheels are.
No.
I don't really have any reference points. But what it does do is give us even more of a flavour and a flair of just what car we're in.
Yeah, for sure.
So, pretty ridiculous car. I'm glad I got to drive it. I'm glad I got to experience it. Obviously, this is a super short ride, a super short video. Let's go again. Oh, that was better.
I need to hear this car from outside.
Well, luckily, all of the B-roll and flybys have already been spliced into this video, so you guys would have already heard what this sounds like from a pedestrian point of view. And I have to say, it's very cool. It's a very, very, very cool F12, and the F12 is already an insane car.
Yeah.
And to sit behind a steering wheel with this prancing horse here, regardless of whether you like them or not, it's a special occasion.
Yeah, I think the F12 is kind of sat in the middle of touring and aggressive,
yeah.
And the N-Largo just moves over towards the aggressive side a bit more, but still keeps a lot of the comfort from the touring side.
Yeah.
Just gives you a bit more noise, a bit better performance.
Mega car.
Thumbs up for it.
Mega car. Right, we need to head back to Prince Motor Group. Massive thank you to those guys for allowing me the keys and the ability to pilot this car. I'm very impressed by it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the sound, the sights, everything to do with this F12. Thank you very much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and tick the notification bell, because I want to be doing more cool stuff like this in the UK and out the UK, but mainly making most of this wonderful summer that we have. I will see you soon, guys. Take care. Goodbye.